motion. Recommends raising, and I'm not even going to say anything about
So
that.
then I'm going to
before.
instantly stand up and Aaron, ask him about the fans.
Whenever you're ready. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Unless your septic system.
Yeah.
That just goes. Something they have to. Yeah. It's all about money all the time. Yeah. Still a couple people wandering in. Should we wait till 9:05 or just jump right in? I was thinking. Trust us. Yeah. I figure we'll give it 5 more minutes. Find out who introduces him, right? We introduce him, he introduces him. Right, so I just want to make sure if we were introducing him, we said the proper title, but I made sure he's going to at least say former state rep. Yeah. So, you gotta know what the credibility is. No. I legit wondered about that. It's definitely hot in here.
It is.
Pray to God this thing doesn't glitch on you.
Missed.
You got, never acted up before, ever.
Huh?
I said, I'm just praying to God this thing doesn't glitch on me. It's never acted up before. But it's acting weird, so I'm kind of nervous. I'd say as soon as those people sit down, we're good to go. I don't see anyone else walking in the parking lot. So. Okay, well, let's
Don't see anybody.
Take a picture of my phone in case I figure it out.
Okay, I think that time it at 60. So I'll be right.
How come I can't open this? Because we have shit service. I'm on Wi-Fi. Are you? Yeah. So we're announcing the Spirit of America Award winner, right?
Yeah.
I don't have anything I can really say about. I'm not reading that whole article already. Harvard dedication. No, that's the point. I don't know what he did for this town.
Who's that? Arthur?
Former selectman. Yeah, no.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Planning board. He's on the planning board for years.
Volunteering.
Printed the newsletter for Hartford News.
And many other volunteer, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Something about the railroad bed, right?
What's that?
Nothing about the railroad bed? It's a myth. Oh, is it really? Well, I don't know if it's a myth, but there's I can't find any. I've asked 3 different people and I get 3 different answers. Just keep it simple. talk about. I wish I had fucking done this yesterday, but as soon as she gave me that paper, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad you likes doing this.
You'll be all right.
Here's a question. Pledge allegiance, probably, huh?
Pledge allegiance is an apple. When you do that,
Never did it
I
before.
don't think you do. Actually, yeah, just make sure.
Never did it before.
Bring a goddamn flag in here anyway.
No.
There it is back here.
Oh,
That would have pissed me off if that was the case. My first phone call Monday morning, I went to the town office, principal's office. There you go. Thank you.
You're really funny.
I should have brought another coffee. It's not going to last.
that makes a difference.
Calm down. You'll be all right.
Okay.
These chairs aren't comfortable.
No, it ain't.
All right. We're going to ask everybody to take their seats and we'll get started in 1 minute. Do we know if that? Do you know if Walter Thomas was here?
Yeah, he's supposedly here.
Hope he is. I
I think
think
he's
Who's gonna
I think
stand
he's
up?
sitting beside Ken Byron.
Who's going to stand up and present that to him?
You.
you
Okay. Okay.
right here.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks everybody for being here and welcome. We're going to ask you to first take a moment. We're going to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And thanks, everybody, for being here. It's nice to see you turn out today on such a hot, humid morning. First off, I want to start with the dedication of this year's annual report, and that's to Arthur Harvey. He was on the planning board, Hartford News, and he had many other volunteer efforts that really helped benefit our community. So that's right in the beginning of the book, so feel free to look for that. And this year we want to talk about the Spirit of America Award. The Spirit of America Award is presented annually to honor individuals, organizations, or groups whose dedication and generosity help our community be a better place to live. This year, we have This year, we've decided to give this to someone who gave a lot of time and help towards the community, and a lot of it was out of their own pockets, and volunteer time helping in our cemeteries, providing new headstones, and really just making a big impact in a silent way. A lot of people just go unnoticed for the good things that they do, and that's really a big standout to us when we consider who we want to give that to. So this year, we'd like to welcome Walter Thomas. If you could please come forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me take a picture.
That'd be great.
Yes.
Want to? No, we're good.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
some other thank yous at this time. We've had a lot of community members that have put their time and effort and have committed, resources of their own to help our community. We had a member of the community donate postage, a veterans plaque. Another contractor provided the base for that plaque at the town office. We had knitted Afghans, and we just want to basically thank the community members, the volunteers, and everybody who comes out and helps the various committees so we can be successful. We'd also like to recognize those who we lost from Hartford this past year. So just to name the names: Irene Adams, Kathleen Bittner, Cameron Cowett, Douglas Downs, Wayne Gammon, Arthur Harvey, Philemon Kimball, Frederick McGovern, Donald Lumau, Sarah Packard, Jay Penley, Susan Radcliffe, Marilyn Stevens, Keith Burgeon, and of course, most recently, our road commissioner, Alan Vim McNeil. So definitely really means a lot to recognize those people and those we lost. At this time, we'd like to turn it over to Daryl Boness, who is our town moderator.
Good job.
Thank you, Nick. I, again, was nominated and elected to be town moderator.
They can't hear you.
Okay, I'll try and speak louder. Can you hear me now? Okay, so I've been the town moderator for quite a few years now. We go through a process where I get elected at the beginning of the election. The town moderator actually opens the town meeting at the election and then closes it at the end of the election. So I am now officially reopening the town meeting. I can read the results of the election if people would like me to. I can read just the local stuff if you'd like me to. Is there anyone who would like the results of the election read? Okay, I don't see any interest in it, so let's just move forward. On that, I'm going to delegate the job of moderator to Mr. Richard Pickett. Richard is a former state representative. He's served as the Hartford moderator many different times, so he's well familiar with Hartford and our issues. So on that, I'm going to turn it over to Richard to moderate the warrant. Thank you, Richard.
This is the office. Just need to get everything.
Yeah, you need to sign that. Morning. Can you hear me all right? I got a fairly loud voice, but I'll try to keep it so you can hear.
Speak in my voice.
I will. First, what I'd like to do is thank you all for coming this morning. It's good to see a town meeting that a lot of the residents have taken the time to come out and to deal with the town business, and I'm glad to see that happen. I had the privilege of, for 8 years, of being the representative, but one of my towns was Hartford, and I used to come to the suppers we used to have down to the community building there on a regular basis there. I hear that that's coming back again, from what I understand. So that was a fun time getting to know people in Hartford. So I want to turn around if we can, and I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. What I mean by that is things that I want to do with the meeting so we can have an orderly meeting. We all have these things, I'm guessing, cell phones. So if you could take your cell phone and either shut it off or put it on mute if you have to have it on, And if you get a call that comes in, if you could just step outside and take care of it so that we can keep going with the meeting, that would be great.
You gotta talk more into the mic. They can't hear you.
Okay.
Bring it more forward.
I don't know what's going on here with that.
Yeah, you got to get right on that thing. It's
Yeah, slide it towards you.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So please be patient, respectful, and considerate of others. This is a town meeting where we're all residents, we're all citizens, we all live in the same town, and we may have different opinions and stuff, and we'll have good spirited debate, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, I want everybody to be able to walk out those doors as still being friends and walking out in the community and serving your community. So if you could do that, that would be great. When you do speak to the moderator. Don't speak to each other like something. If there's a conversation, or you're actually taking and making a statement that you want to have. Talk to me and not be talking to someone else on there, so not everybody can hear it. Also, if you talk about or you talk about a town official, if you could just take and call them by name, not by name, but by title. Okay. When you're recognized, when you hold up your hand that you want to do a motion or an amendment or whatever you want to do, put your hand up when I call on you. If you come down to the mic and you would state your name so that they can get it down, who you are, and so on and so forth. But we have to get motions, who made it and seconded. They have to be on the record. No person will be allowed to address the same subject more than twice without the express permission of the moderator. The only reason that is sometimes we get going and we get off the subject. So as long as it's germane to the topic, we'll allow the debate. But we're going to have to try to rein that in a little bit and make sure everybody gets a chance to speak. But at the same time, we also can keep the meeting moving. Is there any non-residents in the building at this time that wish to speak? There's one. Are you going to wish to speak? Okay, because the only reason I'm asking is because a non-resident has to get 2/3 of the people in the auditorium to authorize them to speak. That's the only reason I was asking. You're the only non-resident?
No, Leanne.
Leanne?
Template.
Okay. You're not going to speak?
Yeah.
Well, you can do you're non-resident. You're an official of the town and stuff.
Right.
You don't have a problem with that. Okay, I guess that takes care of it. I also tonight will be today will be using the main moderator manual to run the meeting. This is going to be a real.
how can I help you?
I don't think we can. I think the mic could help you. I don't think it's gonna. Okay, we start with Article 3, I believe. Is that correct? No. Yes, Article 3. To elect and appoint the following town officers for the ensuing year or take any other action thereto. 1 General Assistant Director, Board of Assessors, 5 Budget Committee members, and 1 Fire Warden pursuant to MRSA 25, Part 6, Chapter 315, subsection 2391. Okay, I think I'm going to get rid of this and just talk a little louder. Is that okay? All right, I'll try to keep it here if I can. It's hard to keep it here and look and read at the same time. Okay, so that is the article on the floor. I'll entertain a motion.
Article 3.
Any nominations for these seats? So it's been made and seconded to nominate the Board of Selectmen for all of these or just which ones?
General assistance, probably.
General assistance, correct?
What the heck?
General assistant,
Oh,
general assistance, and Board of Assessors. And that has been made and seconded. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, raise your hands or hold up your card. Thank you. Motion passes. 5 Budget Committee members. Do we have any nominations? Yes, sir.
Nominate Ken Violet.
No. Ken Violet has been nominated. Do I hear a second to that nomination? Seconded. Did you get the second? Okay. Do I have any others? Did you get the name? Did you get the name on the second nomination? Okay. There was a second nomination. Who made the second nomination for a person? Go ahead. No, but who did you nominate is what I'm asking. Okay, do I have a second to that? Motion made and seconded. Do I have any other nominations, ma'am?
Dave Bowen?
Dave Bowen, do I have a second to that nomination? Motion's been seconded. Do I have any others? Yes, sir. Cassidy Bernard. Bedard, Cassidy Bedard. Do I have a second to that? I do. And a fifth one. Yes, ma'am. Didn't hear you. Casey Morris. Seconded. So could we have you read back the names of the people that are in nomination right now, please?
Ken Violet,
Ken Violet,
Lenny Eichman,
Lenny Eichman,
David Bowen,
David Bowen,
Cassidy Bedard,
Cassidy Bedard,
Casey Joe
Casey
Morris.
Joe. What was the last one?
Morris. Casey Joe Morris.
Casey Joe Moran. Those are the
Morris.
Morris. Those are the 5 nominees. And they've been made and seconded. Are there any any further nominations? Seeing none, all those in favor of all 5 nominations, raise your hand. Motion carries. The last one, I believe, is for 1 fire warden. Do I have a nomination? Yes, ma'am. Daxter Tardif. Do I have a second? Motion seconded. Do I have any other nominations? Seeing none, Dexter Tardif has been nominated. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to appropriate up to $13,768 from fund balance to cover the over expenditure of the winter roads account for fiscal year 2025-2026. I'll entertain a motion. Do I have a second to the motion? Motion made and seconded. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to raise and or appropriate a sum of money for the winter roads account. $560,780 has been requested. The Budget Committee recommends raising $526,150. The Board of Selectmen recommend raising $519,150. Do I have a motion? Yes, sir.
I move the recommended amount of $519,150.
Do I have a second? Motion's been made and seconded to recommend $519,150,000, which is the town Board of Selectmen's recommendation. Discussion.
I'd like to call for a discussion of why these figures added so much.
Okay, that's that. Is there someone from the Board of Selectmen who would like to
I can answer
answer that? Go ahead, sir.
So, can you hear me?
Oh, you might.
The difference between the Board of Selectmen and the Budget Committee was the amount of salt and sand that we both recommended. The Select Board recommended.
Probably gonna have to come up here.
The difference between the Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen's amount is due to the tonnage for salt and sand. The Select Board recommended less tons of salt and sand, therefore giving us a number of 519, I believe it was. 519, 150.
I'm interested in knowing how much you spent last year on winter roads. Is that usually identified as
On this particular article, it says in fiscal year 25, 481,500 was approved.
481?
481, 150.
It's on the next page.
Yes, ma'am.
So we just voted on Article 4 to allow 14,000 to cover the over expenditure. If we voted for the highest amount, the 560, if that was not spent, that would just go into some kind of reserve. Is that what would happen? And if we voted for the 519 and we spent more, we would then again next year have to pass to appropriate something for over expenditure. Is that the situation?
I think I understand the question. Are you saying that if we voted for the Budget Committee's amount, that whatever we don't spend will go into?
I can't hear you.
I think I understand the question. Are you saying that if we voted for the Budget Committee's recommended amount of 526, that if we didn't spend it, it would go into general?
Even the 560, I mean, the higher number, if we go for the lower number, will we then have to pass another, something in the next year if we go over it? And if we don't spend as much as we pass, then that extra will be in our reserve account or something? I'm just trying to figure out where the money goes, that's all.
If we had extra, it would go into general fund. If we didn't, we'd have to have another article next year. But we are going to be taking a harder look and closely monitoring the amount of salt and sand usage this coming winter to meet this number of 519.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I presume that.
Can you guys speak into the mic?
You got it, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Probably-
actually a
probably-
mic back there for
probably if
anybody
you're
to
gonna-
use.
Probably we ought to go to the mic because people aren't hearing up back.
I presume that the select board has the authority to spend the money even if it isn't in the budget, if it's needed for clearing the roads. So it seems to me there's no downside to simply having it on the warrant the next year to cover the cost if that happens to occur, as opposed to putting it up front and having it go into the general fund if it doesn't get spent.
Correct.
Right.
Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, the article is to raise $519,150 for the winter roads account under Article 5. All those in favor? Motion carries. Article 6, to see if the town will vote to raise and or appropriate a sum of money for the administration account. The Budget Committee recommends raising $307,467. The Board of Selectmen recommends raising $306,199. The fiscal year 25 approval was $299,116. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, sir.
I move that we increase the recommended amount by the Board of Selectmen of $306,199 to increase that by $2,500.
So what your motion has?
To be placed into the IT services account.
Okay, to make that motion, you got to give me an actual figure. So you want $2,500 more than the $306,199, correct?
Correct, to be placed in the IT services account. The overall new amount would be $308,699.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Can I have that figure again?
308,699.
308,699. Do I have a second to that? Okay. Any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say, I'm so glad he recommended that because it seems to me the numbers here are barely the rate of inflation. I don't even think it covers the rate of inflation. So it does seem like we need a higher amount.
Okay, from now on, when we talk from now, I'm gonna have to ask you to go to the speaker. There's people's up back that they can't hear. So anybody that's gonna speak will have to go to that, we'll have to go to the mic in the back, please. So, just so you understand what we did, this is not an amendment. We were not amending anything because those were just recommendations from the Board of Selectmen. The motion is made in the amount that the select board wants to have in there now. So this is not an amendment, this is the actual amount, $308,699 that we're voting on. So, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to raise and/or appropriate a sum of money for the Sumner Roads account, which includes $151,627 for the fiscal year 2026-27 principal and interest payment on the main bond bank loan dated November 1st, 2021. Total amount borrowed equals $1,400,000 with all the unexpended funds at fiscal year end to be transferred to the summer road reserves for future road repair. $188,627 has been requested. The Budget Committee recommends raising $158,852, and the Board of Selectmen recommends raising $160,000. Fiscal year approved last year was $185,000, and there's a note on the bottom for you to read, which simply says, remaining balance of the road bond as of 6/1/2026 equals $880,544. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, ma'am. So, give me a figure. Are you moving because there's two recommendations and there's a regular request. Okay, so the motion has been moved for the Board of Selectmen's recommendation of $160,000. Do I have a second to that? That motion has been seconded. Discussion. Yes, sir.
So I just wanted to talk about last year's number and this year's number. Last year was around 185,000. This year we're asking for 160. I just want to make it known that we've been working with FEMA money for the past 2 years, going into next as well, to carry our summer roads. That being said, next year this number is drastically going to go up probably because if we don't raise it, we won't have any money for summer roads. So I just want to keep that in mind when next year is not a surprise, because we won't have the FEMA money at that time anymore. It'll be used up.
Okay. Any other discussion?
FEMA.
That's what I was just saying. It's coming from the leftover FEMA money that we had. So it's roughly, I think the amount, Leanne, help me if I'm wrong, but it's around 140,000 we have left.
Did you hear that okay? You all set with the? Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion for $160,000 for Article 7? Motion carries. Article 8, to see if the town will vote to raise and/or appropriate a sum of money for the sanitation account to include bulky waste collection days per year. The Budget Committee recommends raising $128,917. The Board of Selectmen recommend raising $133,917. Last year's approval was $152. I'll entertain a motion, ma'am.
I move the Board of Selectmen amount of $133,917.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to raise and/or appropriate a sum of money for the public safety account. The Budget Committee recommends raising $122,361. The Board of Selectmen recommend raising $3,438. Fiscal year 25 approved $115,460. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, sir.
Move the recommended amount of $123,438.
So you're moving the selectmen's recommendation of $123,438. Is that correct, sir?
Yep.
Okay. And that's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Someone explain that.
What is the difference?
I believe at the time the budget committee met, we didn't have the final number for Turner Rescue. When we finally had the number, that's the difference of the amounts. And that was due to they use MMA's manual for census.
Any other discussion or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 10, to see if the town will vote to amend the ordinance to establish the Hartford Planning Board as written in attachment A at the back of your pamphlet. Keeping in mind an ordinance, whether it is something new you're putting into the ordinance that the planning board has put into the ordinance to be voted on, or whether it's a brand new ordinance. Either way, this is an up and down vote. It cannot be amended on the floor. Yes, sir.
I move to amend the ordinance as.
They can't hear you.
I move to amend the ordinance as shown in the attachment.
So if I'm understanding you right, you want to move the ordinance that has been amended from the planning board, and it's in the booklet that we have in front of us. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes, ma'am. I got to get a second first if I can find one. Motion's been made and seconded. Go ahead.
I can.
Yep, go ahead.
Why all it's doing is taking the responsibility of the comprehensive plan away from the planning board, so they don't have to write the comprehensive plan. That's the only change. All it was doing is taking the responsibility to write a comprehensive plan away from the planning board. As the current ordinance is written, it's the responsibility of the planning board to write the comprehensive plan, so that's the only change.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I used the wrong word. You are correct.
Right.
Correct.
That's been recognized. Gonna have to go to the mic.
Very slow.
You could really use a wireless mic next time.
Mhm.
Probably could move that mic.
Yeah, I'll do that.
A little bit.
What's that?
I
gonna move it.
was in contact with the woman who's head of whatever department in the state that deals with comprehensive plans this year, and she wrote that the way our ordinance is currently written, not only does it say that we shall and are responsible for the comprehensive plan, it means an ongoing duty. So to make sure that this keeps happening. I'm sorry, I was focusing on something else, so I didn't really print out this, but so you're going to take that away, so there'll be nothing in anything in the town of Hartford ever, on a routine basis, ever to look at what's happened in the town over any kind of period, 10 years or 20 years. Right now, we don't have any formal data except from the year 2000. So, and the responsibility for the comprehensive plan was put into place when the state required it of all towns, and that's why the planning board ordinance was even written in 1989. You can take it away. Right now, we have an ad hoc committee, and it's probably going to take another 3 to 5 years to get the information all together and published because it's a very big undertaking. But I just think that somewhere in the town's method of doing things, it should be addressed that we should once in a while take an inventory of what's in the town, how we're doing, and if there's anything that needs to be changed. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
One of us ought to be carrying that around anyway.
If there indeed was a state, a statute that gave the comprehensive planning process to ordinance committee, to planning board committees, not all towns, in fact, have planning boards. It's not a requirement under the state to have a planning board. Moreover, the state has changed its tone on how comprehensive planning should be done many years ago and subsequently in revisions where they repealed the initial requirements of a comprehensive planning committee. And in fact, the current state statute strongly suggests that the town use a very broad-based committee to do comprehensive planning. The planning board is not what I would consider a broad-based, well-representative of the town. So removing the planning board as a required body to produce a comprehensive plan doesn't preclude them from being involved. It only allows for the select board to establish an ad hoc committee that has broad base.
In reality, all that really amounts to is being a planning board, not the members who are writing the plan. The planning board are not the members who are writing the plan or collecting the data. The select board, even in the past two comprehensive plans, were the ones who appointed the committee, so there would be a broad-based representative of the town who was collecting the data and the information. The planning board was just make sure that the process was being followed and follow up on the submission to the state and the requirements. It was more like a supervisory. It wasn't constructing the plan in any direct form. That's all. And I agree, it's no longer required, but many towns have it. There's actually a map you can go on the state website that will show which towns have comprehensive plans. And the majority of them that are in the eastern 2/3 of the state and southern part do have them. New ones are being created constantly.
And any further discussion?
I got something.
Over here.
Yes, sir.
So the select board has not done away with the comprehensive plan. We have asked the ad hoc committee to continue working on the plan, but we have no intentions of getting it certified by the state. If you remember correctly, last year at town meeting, we voted to repeal the 2008 comprehensive plan. I believe the reason for that was because by having a comprehensive plan, the town would be obligated to follow state law, one of them being half-acre building lots, and we really don't want half-acre building lots in the town of Hartford.
Any further discussion or questions? Yes, ma'am.
Aaron, if I could just follow up on your comments about you guys don't have any intention of submitting it to the state to be certified. I guess my question is then why bother doing the comprehensive plan? Because the benefits of doing a comprehensive plan is getting it certified by the state, and then you have access to grants and certain things from the state if it's certified. But if it's not certified, you don't have access. So in that regard, I honestly don't understand why we are going through that process. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are.
Yes, sir.
Basically, like she had said, the town has no data, or they would not have any data if it didn't continue to, the comprehensive plan didn't continue. So we're allowing the comprehensive plan to our committee, ad hoc committee, to continue their research in order for the town to have their data. I don't know if I totally agree with the not being allowed to get grants. I talked with AdCog, and there may be some that we'd be limited to, but not all of them.
Any further discussion, ma'am? Speak right up.
We don't have a land use ordinance in Hartford. Anything can happen in any piece of land. And part of the reason for having a comprehensive plan is to decide how we want our land use. You know, do we want a data center moving in? Do we want a giant solar farm? You know, you gotta have one or the other.
Yes, sir.
Sorry for dragging this out, but in fact, we have a land use plan in terms of shoreline zoning. We have a land use ordinance in shoreline zoning which deals with land on shoreline. We have an ordinance that's a building lots ordinance. Yes, it's not a land use per se, but it designates the size of a plot that is buildable. A comprehensive plan is a guidance of how the town would like to see over the next 10 years development and growth. It is not a legally binding ordinance on land use. So all it is a document that guides the direction the town will go in. If the town has a comprehensive plan, any land use ordinances that are subsequently developed must follow the guidance of that comprehensive plan.
Okay, and just so you understand why I'm allowing that person to go up there 4 times, is everything that he has said has been germane to what we're talking about. And this is an ordinance that is very, very, that is important. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't want anybody to just not, if you have a question or you have discussion or you have a statement to make, this is the time to make it on this ordinance. Is there any more discussion or questions on this? Seeing none, the motion was to accept the ordinance to establish the Hartford Planning Board as written in the attachment, in attachment A, which is in your packet. So with the changes that were made in there by the planning board, that is what you're voting on. If you vote yes, that becomes the new ordinance. If you vote no, this ordinance is defeated. It can only be a yes or a no. It's either going to be what you've had in the past, or it's going to be this new one as you enacted today. So all those in favor of this motion for this plan, attachment A to pass? Okay, you can put your hands. Any opposed, say no or nay. You get the nays? Okay, thank you. Motion carries and the amendment passes. Article 11, to see if the town will vote to amend the Town of Hartford Administrative Ordinance Part 2 as written in attachment B, recommended by the Board of Selectmen. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, sir.
I move to amend the administrative ordinance part 2 as written in attachment B as recommended by the Board of Selectmen.
Do I have a second? Motion's been seconded. Motion made and seconded to amend, vote to amend the Town of Hartford Administrative Ordinance as written in your attachment C in your packet. Any discussion?
Attachment B.
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Can you,
I can't stand very long,
okay,
but I can speak loud.
okay, good. Speak right up as much as you can, please.
On page 82,
Page 82.
the attachment B, -6, appointments of members of boards and committees. Are we then going to have all of these things appointed by the selectmen and not voted on at town meeting? It's confusing to me.
What are you looking at me for? Yeah, that's not the change. That's currently how it is.
I'm trying to find the change.
Yeah, it would be you're talking about the planning board, the board of appeals, the
Shouldn't be
road
91.
committee, the cemetery committee, the ordinance committee, the solid waste and recycling committee, and the ad hoc or temporary committees. And then there is a recreation committee, which is new in this, that's the ones you're talking about, right?
Yeah, the change is actually on page 91. It has to do with tax acquired properties. We're basically following state statute. That way we don't have to keep amending the ordinance every time the state changes the law.
And 96. Community show elect
Ad hoc.
officers.
And page 96.
Any further discussion on this? Was your question answered? Was your question answered? Any-
Currently, we owe for the different committees.
No, they're appointed, I believe, by the select board. People, okay, so, hang on a minute. Does anybody here want to
Yeah.
respond to that?
Those committees are all appointed by the select board. The road commissioner is voted by the town. That's elected. But the committees listed on page 82 are all appointed.
And that's not for the road commission, that's the road committee.
Correct.
The
And
difference is,
again, that wasn't the change, so we really can't change anything at town meeting except for what's,
the only change on that 2.6 was the recreation committee that's
No.
being added to it, correct?
Okay, I guess I'm.
no, there's no changes on page 82. The only change is on page,
91 and
you got
96.
it? Okay, all right.
Okay.
Lee?
Okay.
Lee has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to say, the only committee that is elected in this town is the budget committee, which we just did.
Any other discussion before we vote? So what we're doing, we're voting to see if the town will vote to amend the Town of Hartford Administrative Part 2 as written in attachment B. All those in favor? All those opposed? All set on that? Motion carries. Article 13, to see if the town will vote to accept a gift of vacant land with covenants from Diane and Douglas Fisher. Land is
Hold
just.
on. You skipped number 12.
12.
I skipped 12?
Yep.
Oh, I did. My mistake, sorry. Article 12, to see if the town will vote to amend the Town of Hartford Administrative Ordinance as written in attachment C, recommended by the Board of Selectmen. I'll entertain a motion.
Can you speak to what this
Motion
is?
made.
What this is?
Do I have a second? Motion seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? One opposed. Motion carries. Article 13, to see if the town will vote to accept the gift of vacant land with covenants from Diane and Douglas Fisher. Land is described as a portion of map R09, lot 060, containing 50 acres located on Main Street, Hartford, Maine. See attachment D. And on your packet, you should have a map of that, showing that out as an exhibit on the very last page of your packet. I'll entertain a motion. Motion has been made. Do I have a seconded? Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Article 14, to see if the town will vote to appropriate a sum of money and create a future transfer station improvement reserve to be used for any costs related to planning, permitting, and construction required for a proposed new transfer station to be located on map R04, lot 011-007, 44 Gurney Hill Road, Hartford, and to provide the Board of Selectmen with continuing authority to spend from the reserve for that purpose without further vote of the town meeting. This authority to remain in force from year to year until rescinded by the town meeting vote. The Board of Selectmen and the Budget Committee recommend appropriating $180,539 from the fund balance. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, ma'am. Can you state the amount, please?
$180,539 from fund balance.
Okay. Do I have a second? Moved and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none and hearing none. Whoops, we do now. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Give me the mic that you can hear better. This one doesn't work. That was cheap.
We don't have any discussion then? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
There was a presentation made of the figures for the proposed transfer station at cost of around $50,000 a year, plus the tipping costs. And the little bit that was handed out that you could find accessible afterwards, because it wasn't, I didn't see it on YouTube, or you couldn't read the screen on YouTube. How many hours a week was this transfer station going to be open?
It'd be two days a week. I believe it was 7 or 8 to 5. I don't remember what the
Say
presentation.
that again, I can't hear
It was
you.
2 days a week. I believe the hours were 7 or 8 to 5. I don't remember what we figured. I have to go back and pull the presentation up. But it was roughly 20 hours or less.
20 hours?
We haven't decided on days. This is just exploratory. We got a lot of figures to figure out on that end of it, but we're figuring 2 days what we figured in the expense budget.
I can't hear you.
You gave me the wrong mic. This one talks.
Can you hear me? We figured, for budget purposes, we decided on 2 days currently. We're basically modeling how Canton does their transfer station. So it would be one guy or one attendant working the transfer station for, I want to say it was like 16 to 20 hours.
And I just wanted to comment that where I live in Hartford, I figured out at gas at $3 a gallon, how many miles per gallon for once a week going to the transfer station cost me $100 a year in fuel costs. Never mind, it would take me almost half an hour to an hour to go over there and back once a week. That's one other consideration, and also the average age in this town is getting older, so people who are older are less likely to have either accessibility for a transfer station. Those are my thoughts.
Any further discussion or questions? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You want to state your name for us?
Still a bill. I wanted people to vote no on funding a transfer station. It is a very serious event in a small town, whether their trash is picked up or not.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's a serious enough situation where the citizens of the town should vote and choose whether they want to have curbside pickup or not.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion?
So I just want to make it clear that no one on the select board is saying we're taking away curbside pickup. What we're trying to say is we are preparing for the future, and the future is probably no curbside pickup due to. What we're saying is we need to prepare for the loss of curbside pickup. There is nothing guaranteeing any curbside pickup continuing in the town of Hartford. The Solid Waste Committee and myself have done way too many hours of research on this. We've called 8 to 10 different local companies, not local companies, and no one is interested in continuing curbside or even giving us a price on curbside in the future. When we put it out to bid 2 years ago, maybe 3, we had 1 contractor, legitimate, and 2 that were pickups in a trailer, if that gives you an idea. So if we don't prepare now for the loss of curbside, are we expected to wait until the day it happens? And if that's the case, what does the town suggest we do? Do we just, I don't know how else to put it, besides the fact that if we don't prepare, we're going to be with a mountain of trash and nowhere to go.
Yes, sir.
I'll just speak to the unreliability that we've experienced with the company we're currently contracting with, and second what Aaron said. In conjunction with the Solid Waste Committee, we have met with, we've contacted numerous companies that could provide this service to us, and none of them are interested in taking on curbside in this town. They repeatedly said this, and the Solid Waste Committee reached out to about 10 companies, and then one of the divided amongst us, we each followed up on all of those contacts to see if that, to prove the validity of that, and it was proven. None of them want to take on our community. Like, you may have Archie's willing to take this on again. They may not. We don't know. And we don't know what those prices can be down the line 5 years from now. This proposition gives you much more reliable numbers that you can count on for the future, so we can better budget and we can better forecast what it's going to cost this town. But I'll go back to the reliability and the complete unprofessional stuff that we've experienced as selectmen. It doesn't always turn up on a piece of paper as a complaint in the town office. We had a slew of complaints in the town office, but this board sitting right here, it never ended. It never ends. It is insane the amount of complaints that we get from residents that are either sitting in this room or not sitting in this room. And that just goes to show you one simple thing. That's not a company that clearly has good values and is determined to provide the quality of service that this community deserves for years to come. We should not be sitting here even having this conversation. If you contract with a company, they ought to be reliable, professional, and accountable. I would say that's anything but what we've seen. And we have bent over backwards to help them. We have contacted them in every which way. We have tried our darndest to understand the fact that they're a company in transition. But no matter what we've done, it's the same lackluster experience where we wonder, are they showing up or not showing up? And at this point, we just kind of have to accept that it's not that great a service. And people are now just kind of throwing their hands up and they're like, oh, well, I don't know. Well, they didn't show up today. I guess they'll probably be here tomorrow. They never contacted anybody in this town to let us know they weren't going to complete the route. You tell me, is that acceptable? I say not.
Okay, there's a number of hands up here. Let's see. I'll start with this gentleman here.
So I was on the select board when we went to curbside pickup. How many years ago? So last February, I followed Archie's truck down 219 into Turner, turned onto a Turner Road, picking up garbage on Tuesday. And we paid for that tonnage. They kind of blew it off and said, oh, it was just one resident. But how many times does that actually happen? We don't know. We cannot get proof of where our recyclables are going or if they're even being recycled. So we're paying currently $2,400 a year in a fee for them to pick up our recyclables. That equates to about 36 ton, which is what, 6,800 or 68,000 pounds. That's a lot of weight that potentially we are paying for double. I feel we need to at least explore the option because I do not think that Archie's will renew the contract at the rate that they have in the contract. I own a truck. I cannot run a truck for $1,100 and some odd dollars a year with two guys.
A week.
I'm sorry. Cannot do it. With the price of fuel now at being $5.50 a gallon, I just don't see it happening. And I think we need to prepare and plan ahead for that in case it does happen.
I think, yes, explore the option, but there's no hurry. You don't need to already invest lots and lots of money into it right at this moment in time, in my perspective. Also, two different people have told me that they know other options for something different. So there's information that's not heading to the select board, but there are options. If you say yes to the transfer center, then we will never go back to curbside. So this is like already moving through further down the line than I would really like us to be. And it's one benefit for us, we are tax-paying citizens. That's one benefit that we get in town.
I believe the recycling is not being recycled as it is now. We put it out as recyclable, but they put it all together. We witnessed that.
I see your hand.
So I do agree with you there. Something different needs to be done. But my concern is the elderly, maybe someone who doesn't have any other family members or something that can take that trash. And how do you identify the person's trash if they're not there and someone else brings it? How is that going to be arranged?
Anybody want to respond to that?
I get a few things I can respond to.
Use this one. Seem to get it right.
Now that black one seems to be working better.
So the select board is, and the solid waste committee is thought about your concern about being elderly and not having the means to get your trash to the proposed transfer station. We have looked into that and we've got a list of 3 or 4 people that would be interested in going around and collecting trash for a fee, obviously, just like they do in Buckfield in summer, and I'm sure many other towns in the country. So yes, it would be an added cost to the resident, but it would also give a job opportunity for a resident as well. As far as the recycling, what Mr. Bowen said is accurate. We do pay $4,400 a year for recycling. I can't find evidence where we've received credit for any recycling. I've looked and I can't find it. With the proposed transfer station, one of the vendors I spoke with actually allows us to put household waste, MSW, and recycling in the same trash bag, and it goes in the same compactor. And then it gets hauled to their facility, which they just purchased over in Jay, and it goes to a shredder. It separates the recycling, and we get our EPR credits back to the town, so we'll get money back. So you won't have to separate anymore, which is good. Now, people are asking, well, why would Archie's put their recycling in with their regular trash? Well, it's a pretty simple answer. Like Mr. Bowen said, they're only charging us $1,100 a week to go around town and pick up our trash. They also charge us tipping fee, which when I started a year ago was around $125 a ton. It's now up to $133 a ton. What many people don't understand is, and I don't understand why either, is it costs less to dump trash in a regular landfill than it does to dump recycling in a recycling facility. So Archie's is obviously doing that because they're getting rid of their recycling for less of a tipping fee than they would if they sent it to a recycling facility. So they're actually making money off us by doing that.
Lee.
Yes, please.
I'm the Holman Chair of the Solid Waste and Recycling Committee.
Speak up.
In fact, we have put a lot of effort into this. We did make those calls, and every company that we talked to is more than willing to pick up our waste from a transfer station, but unwilling to service the town of Hartford by going around and picking up all of our trash. So that's the point one. The other point I'd like to make is, if we had a transfer station, which would take a full year to get there, I know that some literature was passed out that we all walked in, it said there are 2 years before the contract expires, but that is not accurate. Actually, it's only 1 year. So it takes a little while to get a transfer station up and running. There's no telling how Archie's will deal with this when it goes out to bid and whether they'll even be there, but whether they will be willing to bid on this contract. Catherine Oakes from Hartford, that's the name of the Valley Coalition of Governments with whom we work, has told us that we can expect that our waste contract with costs will rise by twice or 3 times in our next contract. So this is all about the select board having the foresight to plan ahead so that we don't get caught holding the bag, a big stinky bag of trash. This is about planning ahead for the future of our town. And I just don't want you, I know nobody wants to have to go to a transfer station, for God's sakes, everybody wants to throw away their trash and forget about it. But when it comes to throwing things away, really folks, there is no away.
I just wanted to say that we did get a recycling report from Archie's. We did get a recycling report from Archie's, which is required every year, and it was not blank.
She's a town official. She got information that she's a town official. If you want to make an issue of it, then let's make an issue.
I'll make a motion that we allow Leanne Bedard.
Second.
Motion made and seconded that Leanne can speak at the meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries.
Can I just ask a quick question? Leanne, did that town report have a financial credit on it, or was it just telling the amount of tons?
It showed exactly how much was recycled in 1 year.
So, but there was no financial credit?
No, it's just a report of the
Okay,
weight.
that's what I thought. So basically, anyone can put a number on a piece of paper, but until they actually give us money back, that means nothing.
Okay, we got some people that haven't spoke yet, and I'm gonna get them on this issue, and that would be you. You spoke on this yet? You haven't spoke on this one, have you? Okay, you both have spoken. Does anybody that has not spoke to this issue want to speak? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm a member of the Solid Waste and Recycling Committee, and what we're thinking is, we used to have pretty local companies. Alan Archibald, his father before him, we knew them, we could talk with them. This company is from Long Island, New York. They were in Long Island, but we don't have that local trust, nor do we have communications, nor reliability. I love my curbside. Who wouldn't? It's convenient, but I don't feel that trust it. Go on, reliably, affordably. I would be surprised if the company folds.
Anybody else that has not spoken to this? If all spoke.
Can I make a motion
We've already got a motion on the floor.
to vote by secret ballot? Written paper
Secret
ballot?
ballot.
You can make that motion, I believe, but we're on the article. So you can make that motion, and it would be a secondary motion, but they can vote on it, and then we'll find out whether we're gonna do that or not. We can do that. And I think that time to make that motion is, you can go ahead and make it.
More cost effective.
I wanted to make a motion that we vote by paper ballot on this article.
She's moving a written ballot on this article. Okay, and that is not gonna stop anybody's that has any questions or anything to continue going on. This is a secondary motion pertinent to this actual motion we have on. She's wanting to make it be a written ballot. We have a second on that, I believe. We got a second on that. Any discussion on that?
2 seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
I would vote against it. I'd rather call for a vote to end discussion at this point.
Okay,
But we'd have to vote hers down first to raise mine up.
right. If yours would have come in first, we would have taken yours first. Yes, sir. Discussion. You got to speak right into that mic.
Hear me now? Okay, but this is a little bit of the path before us, even considering passing this thing. Because we're giving a gift money to people to do what? It's not buying anything, it's just doing research which they could do without that money. And if they want to, it's kind of like, I'll sell you my house, and after you sign the papers, I'll tell you how much. And that's not right. We need to have these people come back with different alternatives and the cost to do each one of them. And let the people here decide which one they like, which one they don't like, instead of letting personal feelings go into their trash pickups.
Right here.
Thank you.
Over here.
Just a minute. Okay, to answer that, the way to do that is to vote this down, and then it doesn't pass. That's the way you get what you're asking. So it was germane to what this issue is, but that's what it was, but you can respond to that too.
Yeah. So the number of 180,539 actually does get us something. It buys us the site work, the fence, the electrical costs, and the design and planning by a consultant called TRC Companies. So if we waited, like I said before, are we expected to wait until we have nothing to create something? And I don't think the answer is yes. I think the answer is no. We build now in anticipation of losing curbside.
Okay, the motion that is active right now is for a written ballot. If you've got something to say regarding the written ballot, whether you don't want to have a written ballot or you do want to have a written ballot. That's the discussion. If not, if it's about the article, that's not being taken right now. Yes, sir.
I disagree with having a written ballot. I feel like the facts are on the table and there's no reason why we would need to do that.
Any other discussion on why we should or shouldn't have a written ballot in favor of it or against it? Seeing none. What we're voting on right now, if you vote yes, you're voting to take this article under a written ballot. If you vote no, we're going to go back to finish up the discussion to make sure we've got everything in there as it is. But if you vote no, it'll be voted on as we voted on every other article so far. So all those in favor of a written ballot, raise your card. Okay. Keep them up there so we can get a count. Hold them right up.
I got 14. 13, 14.
All those opposed? Opposed win. Now, we'll go back to either discussion, but this lady has a motion.
I'd like to move the question, please.
Thank you.
Voting for it is voting the money, voting it down is putting it back to the selectmen to keep going.
And that motion is not debatable. So the motion is to stop discussion and go to the vote. And it's been moved and seconded. No debate can be had on that. So all those in favor of stopping discussion and going to the vote, raise your card up. Motion carries. So, motion on the floor. If you vote yes, you're voting to create a future transfer station improvement reserve, and you're voting to put appropriating $180,539 from the fund balance to do so. So all those in favor of the motion, raise your card. Opposed? Well, I think we got to count. I think we're going to have to count. So those of you that are against it, hold your card way up so we can hear. Just against. All those, okay, you can put them down. All those that were in favor of the motion, put yours up. Yeah, the motion passes. Yep. Motion passes and the article passes. Article 15. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the revaluation reserve account for future use and to provide the Board of Selectmen with continuing authority to spend the reserve for that purpose without further vote of the town meeting. This authority will remain in force from year to year until rescinded by town meeting vote. The Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend raising $33,475. Last year, $45,000 was approved. The town plans to conduct a full reevaluation in 2028. The current balance of that reevaluation reserve is $83,050. Yes, sir.
I move the recommended amount of $33,475.
Do I have a second to that? Motion made and seconded to appropriate the stated amount, $33,475. Discussion. Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Article 16, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the capital outlay reserve account for future use and provide the Board of Selectmen continuing authority to spend from the reserve for the purpose without further vote of the town meeting. This authority to remain in force from year to year until rescinded by the town meeting vote. The Budget Committee has no recommendation. And the Board of Selectmen recommends $3,000. Last year, $3,000 was approved. This reserve was created on June 24th of 2000 for expenditures up to $7,500 for any necessary equipment and or structures provided, and expenditures have a useful life of at least 5 years. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, sir. You're moving for the $3,000, correct? Okay. Motion's been made to move the amount of $3,000 requested. Do I have a second to that? I have a second to that. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Article 17, to see if the town will vote to raise and or appropriate a sum of money for the municipal buildings and improvement reserve account for future use, and to provide the Board of Selectmen with continuing authority to spend from the reserve for that purpose without further vote of the town meeting. The authority to remain in force from year to year until rescinded by town meeting vote. The Budget Committee recommends raising $5,000. The Board of Selectmen have no recommendation. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, sir. Motion has been made to raise $5,000. Do I have a second to that? Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Sorry, was that for the 5,000?
$5,000. Article 18, to see if the town will vote to raise or appropriate a sum of money for the legal reserve account for future use, and to provide the Board of Selectmen with continuing authority to spend from the reserve for that purpose without further vote of the town meeting. This authority to remain in force for a year, from year to year until rescinded by town meeting vote. The Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend raising $5,000. Do you have a motion? Your 5,000? Okay, motion is being made to raise the $5,000. Do I have a second? Motion's been seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 19, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the cemetery reserve account for future use, and to provide the Board of Selectmen with continuing authority to spend from the reserve for that purpose without further vote of the town meeting. This authority to remain in force from year to year until rescinded by town meeting vote. The Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend raising $800. I'll entertain a motion. Yes. $800. Okay, motion's been made to raise $800. Do I have a second? Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 20, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the contingency account. The Budget Committee and Board of Selectmen recommend raising $3,000. Fiscal year 25, $1,500 was approved. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, sir.
Yes, as read.
Okay, with the amount that's in the article. Okay. Motion has been made to raise $3,000 for the general assistance account. Do I have a second on that?
It's for the contingency.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. You're right. For the contingency account, and we've got a second. Do we have a second? I think I seen a hand up on that. So Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 21, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the general assistance account. The Budget Committee and Board of Selectmen recommend raising $3,000. Fiscal year 25, $1,500 was raised and was recommended by the Board of Selectmen. I'll entertain a motion. $3,000 has been moved, seconded. $3,000 has been moved to the general assistance account. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 22, to see if the town will vote to appropriate a sum of money from fund balance to reduce the 2026-27 tax commitment. The Budget Committee and Board of Selectmen recommend appropriating $200,000 from the fund balance. I'll entertain a motion. Okay, motion has been made to raise the $200,000 from the fund balance. Do I have a second? We have a second. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Not this one, though? Yeah. I need the volume up.
Okay, get the question.
Do you have that figure? Leanne's gonna get that figure.
We're getting the information right now.
I just want to say the $200,000 is roughly the amount the school budget went up. So if we didn't take that from fund balance, the tax rate would obviously go up. This amount is keeping our tax rate close to what we had last year.
So June 30th, 2025, we had $1,856,932 in fund balance. We used $152,000 to reduce taxes for current year. The transfer station, $180,000. And this article, $200,000 plus the overage in Winter Road leaves us $1.3 million around there.
Sounds like we're doing great.
You don't have that in your checking account?
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 22. That was Article 22. Article 23, to see if the town will vote to allow the Board of Selectmen to enter into multi-year contracts for mowing of cemeteries and town-owned properties, recommended by the Board of Selectmen. I'll entertain a motion. Motion has been made for Article 23 to allow the Selectmen to enter into multi-year contracts for mowing of cemeteries and town-owned properties. Do I have a second? Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 24, to see if the town will vote to allow the Board of Selectmen to enter into multi-year contracts for snow removal and ice control services, recommended by the Board of Selectmen. Yes, ma'am. Motion has been moved as written. Do I have a second to that? Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 25, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the Hartford Heritage Society. $600 has been requested, recommended by the Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen. Fiscal year 25, $600 was approved.
I'd like to suggest that we can, we move the, Article 25 to Article, or what was it, social services accounts into one block. So 25 to 46. That's the asking amount.
Okay.
That'd be amazing.
So you're wanting to do 25 and 26 together? Is that what you're saying?
25 through 46.
25 through 46. Okay. So, I would say as long as there's no,
I was gonna say that we got differences.
yeah,
between
you've
the
got some
recommendations.
differences of recommendations there on some of those articles, so we can't put that in a block like that. If they were all the same, if the recommendations were all the same on all of them, then we'd be able to do it, but we can't now. Well, I understand. What's that?
I make a motion for $600 to the heritage.
But he's motioning.
We already had that on.
They would have had to just go with it.
We already had that, and I think we had you as a second, I think, on that.
No, we didn't have a motion. Andy was-
Oh, you didn't have a
No,
motion?
because Lee made a motion to do them all.
Okay, okay.
Just trying to-
Okay, so let's get back on track. I want to explain what's going on here. I know that probably you've done that before, and if all of these figures were the same as recommendations, I would do the same thing. But I do not believe that we can do that and keep a good register of this town meeting unless we go one by one because of the ones there that are not the same amount.
The asking amounts are different.
The asking amounts are,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
what was she saying?
She's trying to get her money for, she's trying to get the requested amount, not to recommend. So,
Some of them aren't
sorry,
even
just so I'm
asking
clear,
for that.
you're saying that you want to go with the requested amount, not the recommended amount. I got you.
Well, not all of them have
Well,
in that block.
the requested amounts should all be the same. The recommended amounts are different.
Well, the snowmobile club doesn't. Does it? Can't cover 27.
Well, I would just say this then, if this is the way that you folks have done it in the past, and someone has put the motion out there, we will take it and we'll second it.
What's that?
And then if it's approved, we'll do it. But I would recommend as a moderator, for a better record of your town meeting, to do it individually. But that's only my recommendation. It's your town meeting. You do it the way you want to do it, as long as you're not violating the law. Okay? So,
Can I speak to it?
yeah.
Do we have a second?
We haven't even got had it on the floor yet.
okay.
Okay. So we had a motion that was from Lee, correct? Did we get a second on that motion to take that block of, we got a second on that. Now we can have discussion. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I would just say that would work for a slew of those, but like Article 27 doesn't have a requested amount. Article 28 doesn't have a requested amount that I can see. So there's a handful of them that just would not apply to. You would have had to perhaps made that a little bit later or something, but I don't think that works here.
Any further discussion? Go ahead.
Last year.
Can you go up?
Last,
I think it's going to be because you've got people asking.
last year, the town did not want to spend money for the public TV station because many of its views are seen as being divisive or political. So I don't know if that should be included.
Yeah.
We haven't been on it long enough yet. Any other discussion on this, for or against this, to put on the floor? Okay, a yes vote means we'll take that block, and what we're doing is we're motioning to accept the requested amount. Is that correct? On that block from 26 to what? 25 to.
I said 26 to 30, 26 to 25, because police, you need to look at 27 and 28.
Okay. So originally, I thought it was for the whole block.
25 to 46, right.
Yeah, the motion that's on the floor is from 25 to 46. That's what the motion was. Okay, So keep in mind that on all of those, there are some that are different recommendations from the budget committee and from the select board. There are some that are the same and whatever. So if you vote this motion in from 25 down to 46, you're voting to say that whatever's recommended in every one of those articles is what's going to go out of the town.
Yeah, requested.
Request.
The requested,
Right.
the requested amount is what the town is gonna pay for that. That's what you're doing. If you wanna do them individually, and so you can debate upon them, if there's something you wanna have conversation on, you'll vote no on this motion. So that's what we're voting for. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor of doing it in a block, raise your cards. All those opposed, the opposed win. Article 25, and that is already, we'll take a motion on that. I believe this gentleman here was making the motion on that to appropriate the sum of $600 for the Hartford Heritage Society. Do I have a second on that? We have a second on that. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Article 26, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the Hartford newsletter. $1,700 has been requested. The Budget Committee recommends raising $500, and the Board of Selectmen recommends raising $1,500. Last year, $1,400 was approved. I'll take a motion. Yes, sir. Motion's been made for $1,500 of the Board of Selectmen. Do I have a second? I have a second. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 27, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the area snowmobile clubs. The Budget Committee recommends raising $1,000, and the Board of Selectmen recommends raising $1,006. Last year, $887 was approved, and I would have assumed that the $6 is the amount that came in on the tax.
It's a reimbursement.
Yeah. And the note, the town received a reimbursement of the $1,106 instead of the $1,000 for the state of Maine this year to be used for the fund. That's why that 106 is in there. So that being said, I'll entertain a motion. Yes.
Move the recommended amount of $1,006.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to recommend the $1,006. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 28, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for Canton High Riders Snowmobile Club to be used for repair of the trail groomer. Budget Committee recommends $500. Board of Selectmen recommends $1,000. Yes, ma'am. 1,000 has been moved. Do I have a second to that? It's been seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 29, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the lake, and I'm not going to try to say it. Thank you. Canton Lake. For that association. $500 has been requested and been recommended by the Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen. Last year, $500 was approved also. Yes, ma'am.
I recommend the 500.
500 is being, as requested, has been moved. Do we have a second to that? Have a second to that? All those in favor, the discussion first, any discussion? Probably not. All those in favor? Motion carries. Article 30, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the Hartford Sumner Food Bank. $1,500 has been requested, and both the Budget Committee and Selectmen have recommended that. Last year, $1,500 was also in it. Yes. 1,500 is recommended, is in as a motion. Do I have a second to that? I have a second. Any discussion to that? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I want
food bank. And I did request for 1,500. That money came to Bridgetown. I'm asking now for possibility of raising that to 2,000.
Well, the requested amount is not, it's not a capped, it's not a capped article because that was just, has been requested, but the vote is to see it. But the vote is to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the lake, is that, you know what it is? No,
Food bank.
the
Food bank.
Hartford Sumner Food Bank. And so the $1,500 is not in the article written, it's just a request that was put in and recommended. So you can, if you want to, you can amend the motion on the floor for the 1,500 to that, and then we'll have to we'll have to get a second on it, speak on the amendment, and if that passes, it would go to 2,000. If it doesn't, it will stay at the 15, if that's what you want to do. So you're making that an amendment? So you want to amend the money to the Hartford? You want to, yes? Oh, okay. So everybody understands, right? What's going on? So we're going from 1,500 to 2,000 in an amendment. So do I have any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Okay. All those opposed? One opposed. Okay. The article passes as $2,000.
That was the amendment.
I mean, the amendment. That was the amendment. Now the primary article, the primary motion now becomes $2,000. So now we're voting on the primary amended motion, which if you vote for this, $2,000 will go into the Hartford Fund. So therefore, that's what we're voting on. So we're voting on $2,000 to be given, to be appropriated for the Hartford Sumner Food Bank. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
One person voted once.
31. You see who didn't vote for that?
I did.
Article 31, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the increased Robinson Library. $300 has been requested. The Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend raising $250. $150 was raised in last fiscal year. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, ma'am.
I move we accept the $300 as requested on this article.
Okay, do we have a second to that? The $300 requested was moved. Can we have a second? Any discussion? Yes, sir. No, it's already been seconded. We're all set. Thank you. Okay. So no discussion. All those in favor for $300? Motion passes. Article 32, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for the Zadok Long Free Library. $1,500 has been requested. The Budget Committee and Board of Selectmen recommend raising $1,200. Last fiscal year of 25, it was approved as $1,200. I'll entertain a motion. The requested amount of $1,500 has been moved. Do I have a second? We have a second to it. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? The requested amount of $1,500 is the amount, and it passed. 33, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money from Mothers Community Club of Sumner. $100 has been requested, recommended by the Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen, and last year $100 was approved as well. I'll entertain a motion. Move it as the $100 requested. Do I have a second to that? Seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes. Article 34, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for Buckfield Recreation Department. $1,000 has been requested, both recommended by the Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen. The same amount was approved last year. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, sir. $1,000 is requested, has been motioned. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 35, to see if the town will vote to raise and or appropriate a sum of money for RCAM. $2,500 has been requested. The Budget Committee and Board of Selectmen recommend raising $1,000. Fiscal year 25, $1,000 was approved.
I move 2,500 as requested.
The requested amount of $2,500 has been requested. Do I have a second to that? And it's been seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries.
I was worried about that. I wanted something else.
36, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of money for Life Flight. $602 has been requested. The Budget Committee recommends raising $150. The Board of Selectmen recommend raising $0. Last year, $0 was raised and it was approved. Do I have a motion?
You gotta speak up.
You gotta speak.
I recommend the budget release $100.
It says 150.
Okay, the recommended amount by the Budget Committee of $150 has been made as a motion. Do I have a second to that? Second to that. Any discussion? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just want to point out, this is a for-profit organization. I don't know why they're requesting money from us.
Did you hear that? Okay, so it's a for-profit organization, according to the select person. It's a for-profit organization. He doesn't understand why they would be asking the town to donate to it. Am I correct on that? Okay, so did we get the second? I think we got the second on the 150. So you're voting on $150, which is the Budget Committee's recommendation for this article. All those in favor? Keep them up and leave them up. Those that are in favor right now, keep your hands up. Okay. All those opposed? Motion fails. I'll entertain another motion. Yes, sir.
I move the select board's recommendation of $0.
The $0 recommendation from the Board of Selectmen has been moved. Do I have a second to that? We have a second to that. Do I have any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Article 37, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate and/or appropriate a sum of money for Seniors Plus. $1,000 has been requested. It's been recommended by the Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen, and last year $1,000 was approved. I'll entertain a motion. The requested amount of $1,000 has been moved. Do I have a second to that?
I'll second it.
Motion's been seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, oh, go ahead.
What does that money go to for seniors in our
Okay.
Cool.
I'm not positive, but I would say Meals on Wheels delivers food to seniors that don't have the capability of getting food they need. I'm sure there's others, but I'm not 100% sure. That's my guess.
Go ahead, sir.
I would just like to say that they're invaluable if you're trying to figure out what you want to do for Medicare. You can go down there and they'll help you out, or sit you right down, or go through all your options. No charge. Yeah, but I don't trust your agent. If I trust you, you plus. I don't trust any agents.
Any further discussion or questions? The $1,000 has been motioned for Seniors Plus. All those in favor? Motion carries. Article 38, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for Safe Voices. $750 has been requested, recommended by the board committee and board of selectmen. Last year, $0 was approved. I'll entertain a motion. $750 requested amount has been moved. Do I have a second to that? Seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in, yep.
Safe Voices, with no charge, helps battered children, battered spouses, rape victims. We think we don't have any of that in Hartford or
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of $750, which was motioned for this article? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 39, to see if the town will vote to raise and or appropriate a sum of money for the Cancer Resource Center of Western Maine. $250 has been requested. The Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend raising $100. Last year, $100 was approved. I'll entertain a motion. Been moved for the $100 recommendation from the Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen. Do I have a second to that? Seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the $100? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 40, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for MPBN, Maine Public Broadcasting Network TV. $150 has been requested. Budget Committee recommends nothing. Board of Selectmen recommends $150. Just last year, $0 was approved. Entertain a motion. Yes, sir. Okay, the motion is to raise $150. The motion is to raise $150. And that's the Board of Selectmen's recommendation. Do I have a second to that? Okay, it's been seconded. Any discussion? Yes.
As I mentioned before, this was not voted for any money last year because some people think that this is a channel, even though it's public access, that points of view may not represent a broad spectrum of interests and opinions.
Brookings Institution, Climate Receptive Motivation, has studied this issue, and stronger public media is stronger democracy is.
Oh, come on.
It's not gonna go very well.
What I tell you?
It's not gonna go.
I think there have been many studies about, in general, the information available to the public from any distributed source that is considered the mainstream media tends to be slanted. I think that has been found in terms of how many stories are on one side versus another. That's all I can say.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
We all know that the children and families get together and learn a lot from many of the programs, because some programs you don't like, then don't watch them, but it's very valuable for our America to have MPBN in many areas. Maine needs it, and we also all know that the government funding has been taken away, so anything we can do to help this very educational and intellectual group of
I told you.
Broadcasters.
Last year, we got out of it.
can help us, then we need to help them.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, sir.
I think the MPBN programs are a hell of a lot better than the commercial gunfire.
Oh.
Any further discussion?
I just want to point out that these
Speak up.
small- Okay. I just want to point out that these small requested amounts from these various social services reflect the fact that they need to show a little bit of community support in order to bring down large grants that they will be applying for. So $550 will not move the needle on our mill rate, but it will move the needle for them and for these other small organizations.
Okay, any other discussion? I see none. All those in favor of the $150, I believe it is, correct? All opposed? Three opposed. Four opposed, sorry. And the motion passes at 150. Article 41, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for Kennebec Behavioral Health. $135 has been requested. No recommendation was made. Fiscal year approved on 25, approved $50. I'll entertain a motion. The requested amount of $135 has been moved. Do I have a second to that? I have a second to that. Any discussion? Go ahead. Does someone have knowledge of what they do?
Well, they are mental health service. They have a house in Lewiston looking ahead where people with self-help disabilities and mental health diagnoses can go and learn and job skills. We do have people in Hartford who go to looking ahead clubhouse.
Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of the $50?
135.
135, I'm sorry. All those in favor of the requested amount of 135? All those opposed? Motion carries. Article 42, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for Team Haley Hugs nonprofit. $100 has been requested, recommended by the board, the budget committee, and the board of selectmen. Last year, $0 were approved. I'll take a motion.
Any questions? Who are they? What do they do?
Someone
That's a good
speak to that.
question. I don't know what they do.
I'd have to go back and look.
Anybody have information on them, what they do?
I believe Haley died from cancer
Correct.
and
Remember that one.
they're keeping her alive by promoting runs and raising money for cancer.
Okay.
And the family has continued that right from the time she passed away.
Did everybody hear that? Okay, the Haley was a young person apparently that is passed from cancer, I believe it was, and the family is trying to keep her memory alive by doing these 5K races or different kind of races like that and different things like that to be able to raise money to be able to keep that for the
Kids.
Cancer Society.
Kids cancer.
Kids cancer,
Yeah.
not even kids cancer. So that's what that's about.
I recommend the $100 as requested.
Okay, we've got the $100. We got $100 as requested as a motion. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded. Motion made and seconded for $100. Do we have any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? One. Okay, 43, Article 43, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for Spur Week. $1,500 has been requested. The Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend raising $500. Last year, nothing was approved. Spur Week, Someone want to talk about Spurwink?
I'm going to speak to this one and a few of the other ones. A lot of these are behavioral health programs that, most likely children and possibly some adults benefit from, but specifically members of our community benefit from them. So when the board is moving to provide those funds, it's to help benefit members of our community, not just send money to some place in Lewiston for the good of what they're asking for.
They also have group homes that children in the area to cover by.
There's been no motion.
They're certainly not
Okay. There should be enough information now to decide whether someone wants to make a motion.
I make a motion that the 1,500 as
Oh,
requested.
God.
Okay. The 1,500 as requested is made and seconded. Any discussion on that? So you want to amend that?
Can't amend it because it hasn't been seconded.
And it hasn't, it's been seconded.
Oh, leave that.
Did someone second it?
Yeah, leave.
Lee has seconded it. So you want to amend it to the recommended amount that the select board wanted of 500, is that what you're saying? So the amendment is to take the selectmen's recommendation of $500 rather than the 1,500 on the primary motion. Do I have a second to that? We have a second to that. Any discussion on the amendment of reducing it to 500 from 1,500? Yes, sir.
As the amendment is not a friendly amendment, I don't believe we can entertain that amendment until we've voted on the motion that's forward. If it were a friendly amendment, it could be entertained.
I think it can be, I think it can be attended, and then if it's not wanted, it can be voted down and we go back to the primary amendment.
You're the moderator, so you're closed.
Any further discussion on that? So what you're voting on now, if there's no discussion, you're voting on the amendment. The primary motion was for the requested amount of $1,500. But that motion has been amended, which is legal, has amended to the selectmen's recommendation that they had on that article is $500. So if you vote in favor of this amendment, you're saying you want to raise $500 rather than the 1,500. Then the $500 at that point would replace the figure in the primary motion, and we'd have to vote on it again. Does everybody understand that?
Thank you.
Okay, so you're voting on the amendment of 500 right now. If you want it, you vote yes. If you don't want it, you vote no. All those in favor of the amendment of $500? Opposed? The $500 amendment passes. So now that $500 amends the primary motion, which was $1,500. Now the $1,500 figure in the primary motion becomes $500. So all those in favor of the primary motion now at $500, all those in favor, raise your hands. Opposed? $500. Article 44, to see if the town will vote to raise and or appropriate a sum of money for Well Health Partners. $500 has been requested. No recommendation by either the budget committee or the select board. Fiscal year of 25, $0 were approved. I'll entertain a motion. Yes.
Move the recommended or the requested amount of $500.
Okay, the requested amount of $500 has been moved. Do we have any discussion? Say hand. Oh, that was the second. We already had one. Sorry. Any discussion? Seeing none, go ahead.
I just mentioned that Well Health Partners are people from hospitals.
home health. So the information that was given is they're very helpful with the hospice when somebody is going through end of life situation. Okay, that being said, and there's no further discussion for Article 44, the motion is to raise the requested amount of $500. All those in favor? Opposed? 2 opposed. Motion carries. Article 45, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for Sweetser. $250 has been requested. It was recommended by the Budget Committee and the Board of Selectmen. Last year, $0 were approved in fiscal year 25. I'll entertain a motion. $250. You're moving the $250 request. The request made. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second to that? Second. Motion has been made and seconded to go with the $250 request. Any discussion?
Can we have a little more information?
Somebody like to speak to Sweetser?
I can't say much, but it's mental health services. That's about as much as I know.
Yes, ma'am.
How many children do they help or families do they help?
How
Can't
many-
answer that.
Do we have any indication of how many families are involved with them in Hartford?
I'm looking at the budget request right now and I don't see a number. Actually, it does say, second paragraph, line 2 says, while Sweetser has not previously received municipal funding from the town of Hartford, we've been proud to serve the residents of the community. That's all it says.
So how many people?
It doesn't give a number.
4.
For
Where you get? Where? Do you see a number on there?
Not from here, I don't.
Where'd you get that number?
Second paragraph.
second paragraph?
I don't see 4. FOU maybe?
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
Apparently 4, but it's not on the information I have.
I'll let you see this so you can be aware of what this is. This is where she's getting her number from, the second paragraph.
Where's 4?
I see your.
I see yours as well.
I mean,
Oh, right here. 4. Wait.
okay, right there. Yep,
Sorry. It's
4.
it's written as FOUR, not the number 4. So
So the answer to your question is 4 children, 4 people.
They offer case management for children. They have homes, they have schools. I described it.
Any further discussion or any questions? Seeing none, the motion on the floor is the requested amount of $250. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries for $250. Article 46, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money for Helping Hearts of Western Maine. $500 has been requested. The Budget Committee has no recommendation. The Board of Selectmen recommend raising the $500. And last year, $100 was raised on the fiscal year 225 budget. The requested amount of $500 is moved. Do I have a second? Over there, we have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? 7. So the motion passes for $500, the requested amount. Article 47, to see if the town will vote to authorize the selectmen to use overlay for accounts exceeding appropriated amounts. including tax abatements and applicable interest, and to set the amount of overlay at no more than 5% of the tax commitment, recommended by the Board of Selectmen. The note is the selectmen as assessors are authorized to raise overlay under Title 36 MRSA, Section 710, but require your authorization to spend that overlay. Overlay cannot be more than 5% of the tax commitment. I'll entertain a motion. Okay, so the motion has been moved as read. In this case, we can. We have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Article 48, to see if the town will authorize the Board of Selectmen on behalf of the town to dispose of tax-acquired property via quitclaim deed by either A, offering the property to the former owner or owners, or if deceased, to his, her, or their heirs, devices, and personal representative for a price equal to all outstanding taxes, interest, fees, and costs. Or B, using the process authorized by 36 MRS subsection 943C for sales other than to the former owner. Any excess sale proceeds is defined in 36 MRS A 943C shall be returned to the former owner. Recommended by the selectmen. Do I have a motion? Motion has been made to accept it as read. Do I have a second? Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Article 49, to see if the town will vote to fix the following dates on which real and personal property taxes shall be due and payable. One half of the tax shall be due and payable on December 1st, 2026, and one half of the tax shall be due and payable on May 1st, 2027. It's recommended by the Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion? Motion has been made to move the article as read. Do I have a second? We have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Unopposed. Motion carries. Article 50, to see if the town will vote to fix an annual interest rate of the maximum allowed by state law, which is currently 7%, on real and personal property taxes not paid on or before December 1st, 2026 and May 1st, 2027. Recommended by the Board of Selectmen. Fiscal year 25 approved maximum rate allowed by state law, which was 7.5%. I'll entertain a motion. You moving it, man, over there? Have a second to that? Moved and seconded? Maybe at the table. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 51, to see if the town will fix an annual interest rate of, and I wanted to, in my copy it says 3.5%, and after it says 3%. Is that a typo? So which is it supposed to be?
3.
It's supposed to be the 3%?
Yeah.
Okay. So to see if the town will fix an annual interest rate of 3% on excess taxes paid when tax abatements are issued by the Board of Assessors, MRSA 36, Section 506A as amended. Recommended by the Board of Selectmen, this rate may not exceed the rate set for the delinquent taxes or be less than the delinquent tax rate minus 4%. I'll entertain a motion. Moved as corrected at 3%. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 52, to see if the town will vote to authorize the tax collector or the deputy tax collector to accept prepayments of property taxes not yet due or assessed, and to fix an annual interest rate of 0% on taxes paid prior to the due date. MRSA 36, Section 506 amended. It's recommended by the Board of Selectmen. I'll entertain a motion. Article's been moved as read. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries. Article 53, to see if the town will vote to accept all revenues from cost-sharing projects, grants, and from state and federal agencies. This revenue will be distributed to the appropriate accounts as intended by said agencies. Recommended by the Board of Selectmen. I'll entertain a motion. Recommend, the motion is to take the article to pass as read. Do I have a second? Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 54, to see if the town will vote to accept the categories of funds listed below as provided by the Maine State Legislature and appropriate and apply the total estimated amount of $347,932 against the total amount authorized to be raised by taxation. And as you can see on your agenda, on your town warrant, it's got all the categories down there, and it does, and what they are. State municipal revenue sharing, $178,797. Local road assistance program, $61,000. Tree growth reimbursement, $25,000. Veterans exemption return, $651. Snowmobile registration refund, $887. And homestead exemption return, $86,000. Betty return, $60, making a total of $352,395. This is recommended by the Budget Committee. Fiscal year last year approved $347,932. That was a multiple.
I made a mistake, so that. Yep.
Yes,
So that should be,
yes.
okay.
That number is this number. Right.
Okay, so in the actual article up top, it should have read, in the article itself as written, we accepted that and moved it as written. So what we got to do now,
We haven't.
okay, good, because I want to go back and get this right. That figure in there of $347,932 should not be $347,932. It should be $352,395 and matches the amount on the fund categories below. Okay, everybody understand that? Okay, that being said, I'll entertain a motion. As amended, as corrected. Okay. The article is being moved as corrected. Do I have a second? Seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 55, to see if the town will vote to apply the local revenue amount of $328,569 against the total amount authorized to be raised by taxation to reduce the fiscal year 2026 tax commitment. Recommended by the Budget Committee. Fiscal year 25 approved $329,300. Do I have a motion? Okay, Your motion, you're making a motion that we apply the $328,569 against the total amount authorized, right? Is that what you're doing? Because you want to do it as written, right?
She made the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She both did, but
She made the motion.
Okay, I thought you did. I'm sorry. As read with the figure, with the dollar figure in it. Okay. Yeah, okay. So you're making a motion as read with the figure that is in the motion. I mean, in the article. Okay, do I have a second to that? Yes. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? 1. Article 56, to see if the town will authorize the treasurer with the approval of the Board of Selectmen to waive foreclosure on any real estate tax lien pursuant to 36 MRSA subsection 944 when deemed appropriate. It's recommended by the Board of Selectmen with a note, in some circumstances, an automatic tax lien foreclosure, for example, on an older mobile home with no land is not in the best interest of the town, since the town may have to dispose of such property. I'll entertain a motion. Yes, ma'am. Motion has been moved by as written, for the article as written, seconded. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Now, I believe that ends our town meeting as far as warrants go. I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I really didn't want to drag it out, but I really, on those articles, going down through them one by one, I really think that makes a better register. And besides that, I think we had some discrepancies there that we had to talk over, which I think was a good thing to do. But thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much for the privilege of doing so.
Could we have the elected officials take their oaths before they?
Yeah, and before you leave, we'll have the elected officials take their oaths. Okay, so if Kathy, you must have been the only select.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know if all of them are here, but
who else can come?
Lenny,
is
Dave.